Frozen but open. Classes continue at Ohio State.
Women's hockey shines on the ice.
I got drugged and dizzy and then he raped me.
And a Columbus human trafficking victim speaks out.
All that and more up next on Buckeye News Now.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Rithika Shah.
And I'm Franz Ross, in for Ariana Bernard. You're watching Buckeye News Now.
With wind chills dipping close to what canceled class twice last year, the possibility of a snow day was a hot topic on campus. While classes remained in session today, the temps were definitely chilly.
Our meteorologist John Bangoff brings you today's forecast and a closer look at Ohio State's school cancellation policy. John?
Rithika and Franz, unfortunately, no relief in sight. We weren't able to get school canceled today. Only a high of 8 degrees, and those winds are biting all the way down to minus 20 degrees. Those wind chills are going to be pretty consistent through tomorrow morning, where we drop all the way down to minus 11 degrees. If this forecast verifies, it will break a record for the all-time coldest February 20th in Columbus history, dating back all the way to 1885. Cold for sure. Tomorrow, a lot of the same. We do rebound a little bit with a high of 13 degrees, dropping down only to 11. Increasing clouds out ahead of another system that's going to come through on Saturday. It will warm up our temperatures, but precipitation will be back. We'll start out with some snow in the morning, a high of 37 degrees by afternoon. We'll make everything change over to rain. No real snow accumulation expected beyond about an inch, and then we'll drop down to 31 degrees to start out your Sunday. Milder conditions, but it doesn't last very long. High of 33 Sunday, dropping all the way down to 8 by Monday morning as those cold temperatures return. A chance for some flurries on your Sunday, but then on Monday, only getting up to 18 degrees. More Arctic air returns next week. Now, you may be wondering about school tomorrow and how Ohio State makes their decision. At this point, I'd like to show you a package that I put together this week talking about just that.
Our goal is to make a decision before 5 a.m. the day of.
School cancellations are complicated, involving representatives from all across campus. The final say falls in the hands of the president and provost, but decisions are not always easy, as weather is rapidly changing and complex. On days like today, the sun feels so warm, but it can be quite deceiving. When we register temperatures, they're actually around about minus 12 degrees. Add some wind to that, the weather is downright chilling. Snow and ice rarely threaten campus cancellation, as 142 miles of sidewalk and 32 miles of road can be cleared in just 4 hours. Wind chill, however, is an uncontrollable threat.
The physicians, we kind of rely on them for a lot of information. They're kind of the experts when it comes to wind chill, you know, what should we or shouldn't we do, and we rely on their recommendations significantly. So I can't give you, exact temperatures as to, when we start that discussion, because it varies depending on...
Understand all parties involved.
Absolutely.
The only time Ohio State is closed for wind chill saw wind chills drop below minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit. No matter the decision, protecting yourself from the cold is most important. With wind chills to 20 below, it's all the more important to have gloves, earmuffs, scarves, whatever you can do to protect your extremities. For all school cancellation updates, either tune into your phone with Buckeye Alert or follow at OSU_EMFP for all the latest updates. For Lantern TV, I'm meteorologist John Bangoff. Back to you guys in the studio.
It's about to be a big weekend for Ohio State men's and women's hockey. Lantern TV reporter Evan Simkwitz sat down with women's hockey coach Nate Handeran to talk about the importance of the upcoming series. Evan?
That's right, Franz. The women's team has an important road series in Minnesota this weekend, while the men's team will be starting a home-and-home series with Michigan. We brought in women's hockey coach Nate Handeran to the LTV studio to talk to him about the status of the team, and also spoke with men's coach Steve Rallick on Wednesday. Here's a look at what they had to say about Buckeye hockey thus far.
We have a head-to-head series with Duluth, who we're trying to catch. It's 2 points ahead of us. It's our last series of the year. It's going to make the difference between whether we're at home ice or we're traveling on the road for the first round of WCHA.
How much of an advantage will home ice be?
I think it's always big when you can sleep in your own bed, and the other team has to deal with travel and weather and all the things that go along with that. I think it's big. It's been a goal of ours all year.
To the men's side of things, it's been a season of struggle for the Buckeyes, and while they're already guaranteed a spot in the Big Ten playoff, they face the Michigan Wolverines this weekend, against whom they are 0-2 and most recently suffered a crushing 10-6 defeat here in Columbus.
I mean, if there is a spot where we got to try to attack, it's defensively to try to get pucks to their net. I mean, like they say with the New England Patriots, how do you stop New England? Well, that's by ball control from the other team, and for us against a team like this, it's about taking care of the puck, and I didn't feel we did a good job on Saturday of doing that. Wear them down, take care of the puck, keep it out of their hands. If we're going to turn it over and let them run and gun, then we're in trouble.
Both teams certainly have a lot on their agenda this weekend. You can find complete coverage of both teams and my entire interview with Coach Handerhan online at thelantern.com. Ritika and Franz, back to you both at the desk.
Coming up, why 98 people were arrested in Ohio last year.
And we gave you an inside look into student legal services.
Stay with us.
Columbus, Ohio used to be known as a large human trafficking hub in the United States. Recently, the Office of the Ohio Attorney General released its annual report on sex trafficking. Senior Lantern TV reporter Melissa Prax digs deeper into what's happening in Columbus with this issue today.
Thanks, Ritika. According to Representative Joyce Beatty in a January speech to the House about a bill she sponsored, over 1,000 children are suspected to be victims of human trafficking in Ohio every year. But the numbers in a recent report aren't that high. I took a look at this complicated issue.
I was 15 and we moved around a lot as a kid because my dad got transferred. So I was always a new kid. A guy kind of targeted me, I would say, and spent about 6 months. We call it grooming, but it kind of also seems like, you know, courting, and asked me if I wanted to ride home from school one day. And I jumped at this chance, and but he didn't take me home. He took me to his house. He said he forgot something, and I went in with him stupidly, and he gave me a pop, and it was laced with some drug, and I got drugged and dizzy, and then he raped me.
Teresa Flores spent 2 years being sex trafficked, threatened, abused, and all while living from home unknown to her family. In the past year, the Central Ohio Human Trafficking Task Force determined 181 potential victims of human trafficking. Flores said initially she didn't know others shared her experience.
And for so long I thought that like nobody had a story like mine. But almost every time that I go and do a talk, somebody comes up to me and just whispers in my ear, my story is the same.
Now, sex traffickers often take their victims to hotels and motels right off the highway, like the one behind me, just a couple miles north of Ohio State's campus. However, this specific location was shut down just a few months ago due to so many reports into the police about sex trafficking and IDing problems.
The comment, oftentimes victims are moved from location to location so that they don't get comfortable enough to really know where they are and how to get help.
Victims are often trafficked as young as ages 12 or 14. Flores says that college students will be the ones to stop the trend.
College students have, and they're going into fields that they can actually do something and make changes.
Some Ohio State students said that their peers need to be informed.
I think it's an issue for OSU students to be aware of just because it can really happen to anyone at any age.
Central Ohio Rescue and Restore Coalition has a hotline and urges those who see red flags of trafficking or being trafficked to call it at 614-285-HELP. Ohio State Social Work Department offers an online class on sex trafficking for students wanting to dig deeper. For the full story, visit thelantern.com/TV.
As part of a new Lantern TV series profiling different characters around campus, we decided to first take you to Student Legal Services. Assistant Multimedia Editor Khalid Mualim takes us behind the scenes.
Student Legal Services is a nonprofit law office. SLS Inc., which is our parent company, is a nonprofit that contracts with universities to provide legal services to students. One of our partners is a Student Advocacy Center. So if we have a student who may have a legal issue, but that legal issue is causing them problems for classes, or they're having trouble paying rent, any number of things, we can refer them to Student Advocacy, and we know that they're going to take really good care of them.
That's just the first piece of our story on Student Legal Services. You can find the full story on the Scarlet Scoop starting Friday.
In other news, Ohio State's teamed up with a program that will allow students and staff to access Wi-Fi around the world for free. It's called EduRoam and lets users log into the wireless network through their own university emails and passwords, no matter where they may be. 6 schools in Ohio already use the program, including OU and Miami, and now OSU will be added to that list. For the full story, you can visit thelantern.com and click on Campus. That's all we have for you this week on Buckeye News Now.
Remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and on Instagram.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you all next week.